flow, let your body hit the flow, let your body hit the.
Hold on to your seats because tonight you're about to witness history in the making. From the battlefield to the stage, retired Army Captain Dustin Wray is here to redefine the art of parody. Trained in the intricacies of psychological operations, Dustin has now set his sights on the music world, combining his strategic brilliance with unmatched comedic talent. Now get ready for a performance that will leave you in awe as we proudly present the world premiere of the next parody legend. Ladies and gentlemen, Dustin Wray Hawkinsmith.
Let your body hit the floor, let your body hit the floor, let your body hit the floor. Let your body hit the floor, let your body hit the floor, let your body hit the floor.
Good to be here.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you. It's a real treat. So you started your career off quite interesting with in the military. Could you tell us a little bit about where you started there, and then we'll discuss your career in music and all of your upcoming productions?
Well, without getting too much into it, I did 20 years altogether in the Army Reserve. Started out as a psychological operations specialist. So I was trained by my government on how to conduct psychological operations on civilian populations. So Americans are getting used to that now that they've signed the Smith-Mundt Reversal Act back in 2012. So we can talk more about that maybe at another time. But so that was my enlisted time. And then I switched over. I went through ROTC, became an officer, and was branch transportation, still in the reserves. And then during that time, Operation Iraqi Freedom happened, and I was called up to active duty. I had already done 2 company level commands, and I was put into a unit as a platoon leader, and then eventually became the commander of that unit. That unit was a 180 soldier unit. We hauled 7.5 fuel K tankers. That's the big tanker units. They're big targets on the road full of fuel, and we hauled fuel up into and throughout Iraq. So that was my 3rd company command, and I was a captain at that point in time.
So how did you go when you had to sort of transition back to civilian life after going through the kind of hell that you would have seen in Iraq?
I felt at the time I was doing something important. The days were hot and long and tough, and but it was a big difference, because being in the reserves, I just had a regular job, and it was a kind of exciting change. So even though it was a tough year and 4 months, it was kind of exciting for me. I kind of in a way enjoyed it. I was really looking forward to coming home and I didn't want to go back, but it was kind of like a once in a lifetime adventure. So yeah, you see some tough things, but a lot of guys do have some problems with PTSD, maybe guys that saw worse things than I did. We did lose a soldier. He was a friend of mine. So those things are kind of tough to deal with, but I have strong faith in my Lord. I never had issues with PTSD to this day. So going back to civilian life, it's always tough in one way or another, but I'm happy to be home, happy to do what I'm doing now.
And speaking about what you're doing now, how did your work in psychological operations kind of affect the music that you're creating?
Well, for most of the music I create is pretty, you know, I do mainstream music, you know, you do your love songs, you do all different things. I do Christian music, but you know, when it came time when you see what's going on in the world, I feel like I had to do something different. Um, and you know, you get on social media and you try to post truth, and it's very divisive. But I knew that I had, um, you know, these talents within me that I could use, and so that's why I felt like, even though it might turn people off, some people to my music, it probably turned some people on to my music, and so I felt like I had to do something else. So I started creating some of these, I guess you call them political types of songs that you guys seem to be more interested in, and that's awesome. That's, you know, and maybe I can do some more. I know we've talked about possibly doing some more of these, but I know we've talked a little bit about the Biden parody, but the second one, mass suicide, that's really a lot about the whole psyops that we're seeing now, and trying to expose these psyops and trying to show people the truth of what's really going on.
Yeah, it's quite a controversial song, and the first time I sat there through it, I knew that that would be a song that was going to stir a lot of controversy. Can you talk to the viewers about what it was that you actually were inspired to write that song?
Well, it's really a lot of things, and a lot of things that are going on in the world that we see that if you watch the news, which we know that's all brainwashing. If you watch the news, you'll see these things that happen that, wow, that's really crazy. We've never seen anything like this before. The Maryland bridge collapse.
Yes, the ship hit it.
Yeah, that's in the video. That's one of the things. And the you know, on social media trying to tell people, hey, there's something to this. But the investigation, they do the investigation in a day, and they tell you what happened in a day, like in hours. This is something that, I mean, maybe kids might buy this, but grown adults my age, I'm over 50, are buying this like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I've lived many years. This investigation, you know, and I've been in the military, investigations on things like this and things much smaller than this take months and months. Okay, they don't come in and say, ask a few questions and say, okay, this is what happened, the investigation's over, we're done, let's put it out to the public in hours. That's ridiculous, and people are buying this. Maybe if you're 20, you might not know the difference, but people my age are like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Where's your critical thinking? I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
So,
unfortunately, the critical
a
thinking's
lot of
gone with
things like this
CNN.
happening. What's that?
It's gone with places like CNN, unfortunately, and Sky News.
Absolutely. So if you watch the video, there's a lot of different things in the video. I reference 1984. I put clips in the from the movie in the video, and then you get to the end where all the TV screens are. There's a lot of these different things that people need to start using their critical thinking about. So, you know what? I got a buddy here. I want to introduce you to a buddy of mine. He's not really doing a lot right now, so he thought he'd drop in. So this is Mr. Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States of America.
For Joe.
Thank you.
He's
Very much.
He's kind of taking a break right now, so he thought I'd drop into our interview. How you doing, Joe?
Well, it's just good to have a break, you know.
Things getting a little rough for you.
I just Could use some ice cream maybe later.
So you're saying things are getting legitimately tough.
Yeah.
So you know about legitimacy.
Well, I think you're legit, but I mean, what you do is legit.
Oh, thank you. He thinks I'm legit, but I don't think he is. I think he's a little illegitimate, but that's just me. Now this is Mr. Jack Reppart. He played Joe Biden in the music video. Let Joe Biden hit the flow.
Welcome,
And,
Jack.
Thank you. Thank you, Wayne.
This is Wayne and Lisa.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
And Jack's been a friend of mine for a long time.
Absolutely.
And
Military brothers.
yep, he's also known as CW3, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Jack Reppart. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep wanting to demote him. Chief Warrant Officer 4, Jack Reppart.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, and it's great to have you both on here. So, you do all the productions together, or was it just strictly the Joe Biden hit the floor?
He has invited me to a couple of his productions, and they're always a great time. Dusty is got a mind for this. He puts the stuff together. He takes time to think things through, and I'm just so honored to be his friend. This is great to have a guy like Dusty on your side, speaking the truth and helping people. He's a one of a kind. I can tell you that for sure.
That's absolutely beautiful. And you're obviously a lot more vibrant and awake than the President of the United States of America.
Yeah,
or the illegitimate president.
Right.
I think many could argue that point. So what do you guys see happening now with all of this?
You're talking about him stepping down?
Yeah. Do you think that that's going to, do we end up with Kamala the cackling Kamala Harris, or do we end up with a Michelle Obama presidency somewhere sneaked in along the way?
No. In a word, no. Yeah, my opinion is, I mean, when they were talking about it yesterday, him stepping down and he was endorsing Kamala, I'm just like, okay, go ahead, might as well run AOC, or it's ridiculous. She's less popular than he was. I don't think they have anybody, and if they had anybody, Trump's just way ahead. Too many people are waking up now. Too many people are waking up at the agenda of the left, and there's too many things that have happened. Even so many people have seen what's happened a week ago right here in Butler. Was it Butler, PA?
Mm-hmm.
That's
my wife was supposed to go to that.
Oh yeah, that's real close to where we live, and that's just ridiculous. I mean, here we are 60 years from the JFK assassination, and it's pretty much come out that the CIA was involved in that, and nothing is adding up. Nothing is adding up. I mean, I knew right away. In a few minutes, their narrative was falling apart. In a couple hours, it was falling apart. It was so obvious that it was a setup from the get-up.
Does it surprise you in that you worked in psychological operations before? Does it surprise you that civilians do get lured into this brainwashed mindset that can want to take?
I think it has a lot to do with Revelation 12:9, where it says the great dragon has just deceived the whole world, and he's using his minions now to do it, and it's been it's just building and building, and when you hear a lie over and over and over again, people do not use their critical thinking. They don't even. I was talking to somebody about this whole thing. I'm like, well, he was saying, oh, it's just a loner kid, crazy kid. That I'm like, doesn't it make sense that the closest rooftop, that was just the easiest shot a basic training soldier could make that shot. There's a ladder there. Secret Service is supposed to get there 2 weeks ahead of time. And what did they do? They just set it up. It's like, okay, there's a rooftop here, the closest one. Let's not secure this. Maybe we'll ask the police, but they didn't. The Pennsylvania State Police said they never asked them to secure it. There's a ladder here. I guess it's kind of part of the building. We can't do anything about that. Let's go hit the bar. We got 2 weeks to hang out. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, we know what happened. We know the deep state.
Oh, this was a deep state coup.
Absolutely, 1000%.
So can you tell us what? Sorry, mate, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to ask, can you tell us why Joe Biden hit the floor?
He's not in a state of health to even be running this country. In my opinion, the election was stolen. There's proof out there. The media is not doing its justice. The courts are corrupt. When you throw money and power at this, you can hide things and do things. Donald Trump is a remarkable man to be able to overcome all the things he's done. Do I think he's a savior? No, but I think he's somebody that's going to stand for the truth. Right. And he's not part of the one world order. He's not, he's got lots of money. He's not doing this for anything but for us. So, but Joe Biden hitting the floor, I mean, he's done that on his own. And now he's actually hit the floor out of the election. So he should have hit the floor 4 years ago. That's really where you could start that 4 years ago. He should have hit the floor. He did hit the floor. He fell up the steps 3 times. And now he hit the floor out of the election. So Dusty, with his video, he made this video not knowing all these things, and it just falls into place. And it just speaks stories. And I'm so thankful for Wayne, for you and Lisa taking us on and talking about this. This is truly an honor. So I appreciate it.
Perfect timing, absolutely timely for this song to be promoted, and I'm so grateful that you guys have wanted to share all of this with us.
I was talking earlier about him being illegitimate, and I think that's what goes around comes around, and his presidency is going to be the worst and most shameful presidency of our country.
Yeah.
So what other projects are you working on at the moment? Do we have any other musical projects in the pipeline?
Sure. Right now I'm working on a project called 77s. It's about the 70 weeks of Daniel prophecy taken directly from the book of Daniel. The song itself is a 13.5-minute mini rock opera, basically, presented in like 6 movements. So I don't usually write a lot of songs like that. I wrote this song like 20 years ago, and I finally started working hard on it about a year ago. I'm going to have a couple different guest stars on it. The guitar guest star, the lead guitar, is by a man named Rex Carroll. He's been one of the top heavy metal guitar players in Christian music for over 30 years, mostly with a band called White Cross. Pretty popular guy. It was great to get him to do this. And I'll be singing the part of Daniel, and I'm going to be looking for somebody to be a guest star and sing the part of the angel Gabriel. I haven't nailed anybody down yet, so if anybody has any suggestions, I'm not going to use Ozzy, but there's a couple different ideas that I have.
And if I could
certainly don't want me on this.
If I could just chime in, the world that we live in is starting to get very bold towards evil, and the music production is just starting to get terrible. And I'm starting to see a rise in people like Dusty and other artists that are actually making music to help that the end, Revelation, there's a song called Revelation that's out there. It's hitting the charts, and Dusty is falling in line, because you need men to be lions. It's no longer time to be lambs. We need to be lions and stand up and tell the truth and and go against evil. I mean, and I think Dusty's calling with his music is just that. So
Right.
Well, you've absolutely blown me away. I can tell you that 100%. Even just the anthem that you did at the ball game.
Was that the first performance you'd done with your singing career, or is that something that you just sort of
The first Star Spangled Banner.
Yes.
I think maybe the second. I think I did it at a ball game once before, but never at a major league before that one.
Very impressive. Much respect.
And of course, the Indians were one of the major league franchises that have been attacked by the woke crowd, and they have now had to change their name a few years ago. So they're the Cleveland Guardians now, but I still call them the Indians because it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
wokeism at its finest.
Yes, yes, yeah. They're fixing the world, aren't they?
Unfortunately, with all of this build back better nonsense, they've built absolutely nothing back better than what it was. Well, actually, they've built nothing back either. All they've done is destroy everything. I want to start seeing things be built back, but not in 15-minute increments.
Isn't it amazing how they can make their followers think that they're doing so? You know, their plan was to destroy America, and it's demonstrably happening. And you talk to a Biden supporter, and they think he's the greatest thing since sliced cheese, and the guy has a hard time saying a couple sentences, and it's like, really, do you even think he's in charge? No, it boggles the mind.
Here's something that's absolutely hilarious. Jump on our good old friend Google, and yes, it is our enemy most of the time, but occasionally, for comedy purposes, it can be useful. Google, what has President Biden actually achieved? It's hilarious. Zero, nothing. Even the left has no, I mean, they haven't even taken the opportunity to try and lie and flood the search results full of fake achievements. No, it's hilarious. And if you do the same for Trump, well, they don't like to admit it, but the return is a very much different return.
Yeah, he's boosted the profitability of a lot of ice cream companies. Probably that might be it.
Made a fortune for Ukraine, or well, for Zelensky. I wonder if he has to actually fly over there at the end of all of this to pick up his 10%, or whether that's going to be somehow delivered to him.
Yeah, they don't call him China Joe for nothing.
Yeah.
What a disgrace. Show that I did make a t-shirt from the video. I shared the link with you earlier. There's shots from the video. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah,
it's a little bit glossy, but we can actually get your images and have those up on the screen at this point as well.
Okay.
A few links running across the bottom of the screen.
I was never able to, I attempted to secure the license. When you do a parody like this, it's actually called a derivative work. So like the things that Weird Al does, it's actually called a derivative work. You have to secure the license from the copyright holder. So I attempted to do that about a year ago. I contacted the company that I used. They're in New York City, of course, to reach out to the copyright holders. And they must be liberals, I guess, because they never granted them. And, maybe if the song explodes, they might want the money and they might grant it. But as of right now, it never happened. You're still able to make the video, put it on YouTube, but I can't sell the single. So all I can do is sell merch.
I see. Well, hopefully once they see that it's all in jest, and it is, you haven't done anything bad for their brand as far as there's no gore. And we saw videos of President Trump's head cut off, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? Like these liberals, they are a different breed of people, some of them, unfortunately. What you've done is quite reasonable, and it's actually probably showing some respect to the original creators as far as that's how I feel about the track.
Well, I guess it all depends on your point of view. I wasn't, as far as the song goes, you know, I'm not parodying the song at all. The song was a great song. It was all about a different subject matter. So unless they really have a problem with what I did with the subject matter, I don't see why they wouldn't grant it. Especially if there's, you know, because if I sell that and it blows up huge on iTunes, they get a cut of the money. So you would think that they would at least, you know, as popular as Trump is now, you would think they would have tried to do it because they could have made some money. But it's all up to them. They own it.
So when did you first discover your passion for music?
Oh, probably when I was very young. And I know we had talked a little bit when we talked a few days ago about comparing my video to something Weird Al would have done. And I was a Weird Al fan from the very beginning. I remember his videos coming up from his second album, and I went back and bought his first album. And yes, that is how old I am. We were talking, what, early 80s, I think his stuff started coming out.
He has a very long, extensive collection of music. I mean, you could not believe how much music he has. He loves music.
So yeah, a lot of different styles. I don't do just one style. I do a wide variety of styles. You know, and I'm kind of retro, kind of like the 80s, 70s, that kind of stuff. But I do some more modern styles. And I kind of lean towards rock and hard rock and that sort of thing. But I do a lot of other styles as well. You know, I get into a little bit of country western, a little bit of techno or whatever, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. My next album after 77s, I'm already working on, is a modern praise and worship style music. That's pretty popular now within the Christian music. So I'm doing a lot of that. I'm going to start releasing songs one at a time. And those songs are turning out really well. I'm really proud of what we're doing. And the first single is going to be called Accept Him. I was working on it today in the studio, and it's almost ready. That's sounding really cool. I'm going to play it for him after we're done with this interview.
Oh,
it's the kind of stuff he likes.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, we can't wait to hear and see everything that you've got. And to be quite honest, when I heard this first track, which is the first one you sent to Lisa, the Biden track, I immediately pretty much dug through my old CD collection and pulled out Running with Scissors. So I was one of those blokes who ran down there on the day that it was released and made sure I had a copy as well. So you're not the only one.
That's a great album. Yeah.
And I will say this, I do, and I'm not, I know I might be a little bit biased because I do love the subject matter and material, but I do believe that the work that you've done there is every bit as good and every bit as creative as the works that Weird Al did on that album. So congratulations, guys. You did an amazing job.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that inspires me to do more of that kind of stuff. Thank you.
No, thank you. That's really made a lot of people's days because we've sent that to quite a lot of different people's feeds. And
send it all.
How much work you put into it, and the creativity is amazing. It's very impressive.
We did the mass suicide video that way, and all those little shots. I mean, it took forever.
Now, Dusty went to Cedarville College for writing, so he has a mind to try to lay out things. He's probably really good at storyboarding and trying to figure out, you know, what's the best way to place things. So he has a gift, and I'm thankful, like I said, to be his friend. He invites me to sometimes these videos, and it's just an honor. It really is.
Yeah, Jack's been in several of my music videos. You might see you didn't see his face in the Biden video, but you might see his face if you look in some of the other videos.
Very excited to see more of your work and what upcoming productions you have. Where to from here? What's your next move?
The two new albums are coming out. There's a lot. I started the podcast, the video podcast that I've been trying to get going, and you can see I got the studio ready. This is the captain's chair from the I Got You video. That was like the first really big budget video I did. It's like it's a Star Trek inspired sci-fi love song. I released it on May the 4th, 2020.
And I was his executive officer.
He was the executive officer. And of course, May the 4th, at least in the United States, is Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. I don't know if you celebrate it over there. But anyway, so it's the sci-fi tie-in. But I had somebody create, this is a gaming chair, but I had somebody create the captain's chair. So I got all the buttons and everything. So I've got to get the electronics hooked back up. But this was one backdrop we used in the actual video. He's sitting on chairs that we used in the video for the crew when we were on the bridge of the Starship Atom Dust. So most of my videos, I write the actual scripts, but I would like to do some videos in the near future. I got a couple in mind, nothing concrete. I really want to finish these albums, and like I said, I gotta decide on who I'm going to ask and to sing the part of Gabriel on that song. It's a over 13-minute song, so they might just say turn me down flat. I'm not doing that much singing. I don't know, but being basically a nobody, it's sometimes when you ask people that have already achieved, sometimes they, oh, I don't know who you are, and you have to say, well, check this out, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll do that. But sometimes they don't. So
how do you actually get time to eat? I mean, you're putting together sets, you're doing storyboards, you're producing stuff, you're editing stuff, you're actually singing the stuff, the music as well. I mean, do you actually get time to stop and eat, or do you have like family time? I mean, where does everything else fit into this?
Yeah, I don't.
You got to schedule everything with them. It's a tight.
It's not true. No, I don't have. I've never been married. No kids. That would have been nice, but it never happened. I just have 2 cats I take care of. So actually, it's hard for me sometimes because I do have some health issues. I'm type 1.5 diabetic. I have chronic migraines, chronic fatigue. So it is really a challenge to do some of the things I like to do. That's why it was so hard to get that that video podcast to get this set up. But I did stop working back in November and file for a disability because I do struggle with health issues on a daily basis. So that did help give me a little bit more time to do stuff like this. But I'm paying the price in other ways. So everybody has their struggles, and those are mine, but I don't usually complain or anything like that. I just this is where I've been dealt in life, and I'm going to make the best of it.
Yeah, he's good about that.
Well, we can't thank you guys enough for sharing all of this with us today, and I hope that your music career absolutely takes off. I mean, you guys absolutely blow me away, and it was wonderful for the president to actually make such a brief yet enlightening appearance as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was great to have him, but I think he had to go take a nap. So we'll wake him up when it's time for his ice cream.
Love the humor. Absolutely love it. And I'm sure it's going to draw a lot of people in and quite potentially reverse the psyops that have been played on a lot of the viewers. Even. I think that music definitely will reach more people.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, that's the whole idea. We're definitely trying. So thank you for having me on, and Jack and Joe Biden.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dustin and Jack.
Let your body hit the flow. Let your body hit the flow. Let your body hit the flow. Let your body hit the
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Can we do one more take?
Look, I'm very young, energetic, and handsome. What the hell am I doing this for?